Well, hello, my pickles, my snowflakes, and my turtles. Speaking of turtles, say hi. Say hi to my great big turtle. See him? Oh, love Guy Harvey and all things turtles. They're such beautiful animals. Anyway, and I love being a turtle here because I know that it's a slow one process and lifestyle. And I choose it every day when I wake up. That is the decision that I've made. So when I'm presented with choices, don't you want my sugary blah, 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 blah? I've got something in mind. I'm not going to say it. I don't need to trigger anybody. I already got it inside of me. You're given the choice, but because you've made the decision, you're going to do keto or carnivore or carnivish, or you're never going to have a sugar or a grain for the day. You've made your decision. And so the choice isn't even a choice, right? It's no thank you, no matter how much it was your favorite, no matter how much the food pushers push it at you. Your answer is no thank you. And it's hard to get around them. Sometimes they just won't let it go. But you loved it last year. Remember when you ate half of it and you actually went into the kitchen and got a spatula and scooped out the remains that was left in the tray? Yeah, I'm very aware of that. Why? Well, that's why I made it again this year, because you had so much fun with it. Like the little kid licking the beaters and the batter. Well, yeah, a lot of things have gone on since then. I know, you're way too skinny. You can have it now. Now you can have it. What's your problem? I just don't want it. Thank you. It's not going to hurt you. You weren't even that fat before. Come on. Enjoy life a little. Life is to be enjoyed, and food is one of the best ways to enjoy life. Yep, I know. I know. I think I'm going to go have another burger, though, if you don't mind. Oh, yeah, if you want one. I think there's a few on a paper plate that have flies on them next to the grill. No, I was kind of thinking of having a fresh one. Just me. Oh, yeah, let's go to that cookout, right? And so there we go. You've made the decision. You want to lose weight. You're sick of, putting on your summer things from last year that are a little bit tighter. You've got more than your filled bra roll. You've got the back rolls. You've got the side rolls. You've got the rolls above the hips. You got the rolls on the belly. Even your knees are looking fat. So you made the decision a few months ago, the first warm day that you had, as you pulled out the stuff to try on and get on with, and you got some reality, and reality sucks. Your clothes did not shrink over the winter in storage. I know, I hate to tell you that. And I'm very familiar with that same feeling. There's always that as you try on the white pants to see if they're going to fit this year, right? So you've made a decision. You want to do something about it. And how do you fulfill that decision to get to your goal of doing something about it? It's one day at a time. That's all we have, one day at a time. So that means a whole day of no thank yous. It means a whole day of no, I've got it covered. No, thank you. I'm not having that anymore. I don't know. I mean, I guess I've never been that way with somebody else. I'm always sensitive to them, being a recovering addict and food addict, a recovering alcoholic and a food addict. I'm very sensitive to, people pushing, and I would never do that to somebody else. But there are tons of people out there that will do it continuously. They haven't learned the fine art of shutting up and MYOB. Mind your own business. Mind your own beef. Mind your own dessert. Mind your own. And so, it's going to be a struggle. There's going to be, and isn't it funny? There's some people that you would never dream of that. I mean, I never think of people doing that to men. I think maybe it's a female thing. I don't know. But, I already have been around, it's, mid-July, and I've already been around people, especially some men that I've seen that pat their belly and say, yep, this is who I am. Or there was one picture that was sent to both Greg and me. I won't mention names of who it was, but we were both like, ooh, what if somebody got that side shot of you with your belly and they posted it on Facebook? Oh, I'd be mortified. I'd be mortified. I mean, I have defects, I have flaws, I have rolls. Trust me, I am not a skinny mini. I'm a 68-year-old woman that has, telltale little pockets of fat and rolls and aging. Oh, especially the aging, the varicose veins, the wrinkles, the arm thing. I've got it all. That it doesn't get perfect, but it can get better. And you make peace with what you have. If you're doing your keto, carnivore, carnivish food program to the best of your ability every day, which in my world means no sugars of any kind, no grains of any kind, no artificial sweeteners of any kind, no fruits of any kind, even if seasoned, even if doctors give permission to have them, and no diet sodas. So those, and 6, no seed oils. So those are my 6 nevers, okay? The rest is, it's pretty much eggs and meat. The meat being lamb, pork, beef. I'm not a fish person anymore. I'm not a chicken person anymore. If I went to a cookout and I'm eating my carnivore way and there's chicken there, well, I'm going to have the darkest chicken offered, the thighs, the drumsticks, the chicken quarters. I'm going to have that if that's all there is. If I was having a chicken breast and that's all, if all they had were chicken breasts, I'd get butter and I'd stick the butter under the skin and kind of score the chicken meat underneath and let it kind of soak in and have a couple of those. That I'd make do. If all they had was hot dogs, I'd have 4 hot dogs. Is it ideal? Well, no. Would I be drinking like 4 of these after because of the thirst that hot dogs and all the yucky stuff in them have in them? Yeah, I probably would, the thirst that you get from them. But I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I mean, I would describe myself as a carnivore, except on Saturdays when I have my fathead pizza. But for the most part, I'm having a few chopped onions, green onions, and I'm having a couple of Brussels sprouts on Sunday. And the rest is eggs, cheese, beef for the most part. And that's Sunday through Friday. Maybe I got a hankering for some sweet Italian sausage again, so I'll probably be cooking up some of those. But that's how it is for me. That's what I have. And so it's easy to go with it. And I know how to address it. And, I wouldn't go to somebody's cookout and expect, to cook my scrambled eggs to go with their beef patties. Maybe I'd bring a couple of hard-boiled eggs or something like that. Or maybe I would just, have a mixture of meats and call that my variety instead of my eggs and meat. But that's what I would do. I mean, I'm taking care of myself, my needs. I don't go to the hostess with my expectations of how she's supposed to accommodate me because I have a diet. I'm not a princess. I'm not a diva. I know what I have to do. I cook here at home. I'm responsible for the 2 of us and feeding the 3 cats too. Their carnivore way of eating, their grain-free kibbles and wet food. And so, it's what we do. Is it a big deal? No, it's not a big deal, but it's just being responsible and accountable for myself. And that's something that I hope for all of you, not being this like, oh, I didn't know. I mean, one woman just said to me that she brings her meat and side dishes with her when she goes someplace, even if they say they're having like a cookout, which you expect to have meat. She said because oftentimes she's gotten there and they've changed it. They've ordered pizza or Chinese instead. Oh, too hot to do that. Oh, I didn't want to see my husband in front of the grill with 30 people, and so it's like, ah! So this particular follower wrote that, they just bring it in a little cooler and that's what they have. And she said, people look, people stare, people make comments, people whisper, and it's just like, first of all, you guys get over yourselves. And second of all, I'm taking care of me. So when you look at me and you see the weight loss that's being maintained, the loss being maintained, then you can whisper all you want because you are seeing, just like I'm seeing, that this is what works. And I'm not expecting anybody to take care of myself. Sometimes I think of Meghan Markle, having the baby and having to get back that competition thing, of being who she is and having to get super skinny and wearing those super skinny items again. How she's got to do it. And it'd be like, that'd be carnivore for me, but who knows what she eats and she's telling people what to do. I think of Melania, how she does it too. How does she stay so slim? But then I did see that she has tons of smoothies and fruits. So it looks to me like she's a fruitarian. And then you look at the Kardashians and it's like, what surgical procedures do you have close to giving birth after you've given birth that pull back the body so you can once again, do your selfies? It's a curious thing, isn't it? But for the rest of us normies that don't have bank accounts where we can just write that check for 15 grand to our our plastic surgeon that we have on speed dial, we've got to do it the good old fashioned, dig in, make decisions, be responsible and accountable, and just do it. I often say, you've heard me say, I've had my quota. I've had my quota of all the things that people, when they have a cheat or a treat, leading to defeat, I've had my quota of all of those things. I say here, and I will say it for as long as I have to say it, the keto fathead pizza saves me. It is what has saved me these last 5 years. That's what I do. I have it on Saturday, and I know I'm going to have it on Saturday, and it just works. It takes care of any craving, any trigger, any something, something. I haven't had sugar for over 5 years. To me, that's amazing. There is one thing that has sugar that I do miss. It's not a fathead, it's not a fathead pizza, but I haven't had it for 5 years. So if faced with the choice of having to have it, if I'm not in front of the place, I can continue to say no. So I keep myself safe. I'm not like in front of the place, right? So there's just certain boo-hoo for us, we can't have that places. But don't get pouty, whiny, and stamp your feet about it. You made the decision to get healthy and take care of it. You were disgusted with what you weighed. You were disgusted with when you put on the white pants at the beginning of the summer and they didn't fit and they started to get a wee bit looser and you got encouraged. And then you got a little careless. You got a little reckless. You got a little, well, I've lost 8 pounds now, so I can have that dessert. It's my favorite. I won't have it again. And then you've learned what withdrawal is. Then you've learned that you're a sugar addict. Then you've learned that you're a carb addict. Then you've learned, oh, I get it now. I'm not as simple or normal as I thought, where I could have something with no consequences. I don't think so. Consequences will follow you. The better you eat, the better you treat yourself with your food plan, no matter what it is. When you have that item, it's going to have some consequences. And it probably won't be on the scale. It's going to be your head, and that you wrecked your good run, and that, you sacrificed a lot of days tied together of not having that, not thinking about it, not craving it, not being triggered by it because you weren't having it. So the substance wasn't in your body and your head lighting up your brain saying, I want more. I want more. Heroin addicts have nothing on us being sugar addicts. So just know that if you decide to have that little something, something, You might regret it, okay? So just be very, very careful. Remember, you made the decision to do something about this. And that was like, what, May? And now it's mid-July? Yeah, so I remember you saying it. I do. Don't make me fly out there. Don't make me fly out there and do that personal smackdown. You know how that would feel. So take care of yourself. Honor yourself. Have some integrity. You know, nobody has to know what you're doing. You can vent here. You can whine here. You can say it was tough. But the next day that you didn't have that, you can also say, it was great. You're so glad you didn't. You know, you actually stepped back, thought about it, thought through the item, the consequences, the withdrawal, the cravings that you invite back in. You're going to invite them back in. If you're a sugar and carb addict, trust me, you're never out of the woods. You are maintaining your addiction a day at a time. So that's why we keep doing this ad freaking nauseum, because it is just a one day at a time deal. When you've got an addiction, you've got an addiction. You can count yourself as lucky, because a lot of people have different stuff. A lot of people would love to give up their shoebox of meds being here doing this food plan. And all you have to do is stop eating sugar, stop eating carbs and grains, and deal with it. Really, you know, we all get to pick our poison. And if you pick it long enough, you're going to catch something that you wish you didn't catch. Another 10 pounds, maybe a new med, maybe a chronic illness that'll have to be maintained all the time, right? You don't want that. So step back, get some reality in your life. You can do this and you will feel better. Trust me. It might take a few days of pouting and whining and snorting and the stuff that we do when we can't have what we want. You can see it in the grocery store with a 3-year-old every day. But you will be so proud of yourself, and I'm going to be proud of you too when you take to my comment section and let us all know that you didn't cave. Ah, what a feeling. I'll see you the next time. This has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food, another day at a time. Thanks for watching. Turtle on!